Jets in red. Or not, but their lockers are literally a foot apart.
What apart, huh?
Yeah, there's just a wall separating their lockers.
No, Jason, my first time entering the locker rooms is quite nostalgic. Walking in, you can just feel the history of this place.
Yeah, it's got a very old school look to it, much like a prison, or like an old mental institution.
Mental institution. It's been a while. It has been a while.
But the kids enjoy it. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens in there when they're in such tight quarters like that. And even though they're competing tonight, I think there's a lot of pulling for each other, especially, well, not when they're playing each other. They want to win. They're competitive kids. But I know, being up in the coaches area, because I help a little bit with the teams. When the Jets are playing, the Bombers are usually cheering for them, and vice versa.
So these two teams, they practice together.
Yep.
Okay.
I think all three teams practice together. It's sort of, they divide the field up, and they say, one team will use the field for infield while one team's hitting, while one team's pitching, and then they just rotate. It takes a couple hours to get through everybody, and then they might install some defense stuff. They might pull some kids aside and say, hey, we need to work on this particular thing with your swing or mechanically with pitching. And that's where I come in. I usually come in at the end of practice and I watch bullpens.
Nice.
Me, Gunner, Mike Boutain, Nate Walsh, we're usually up there watching pitches so we can discuss things. Obviously, Gunner's going to have the final say and all that. I'm just sort of a suggestion maker.
Jason, you've been with the organization here now for a few years. Can you tell our folks a little bit about how this all started for you?
My oldest son, Brandon, started in the program 2009. Jim Peterson asked me to come in and help just with pitchers the year before. So it had been 2008, I think. He came in 2009 or 2010. I might have those years one apart. And I actually traveled with the team those first couple years. It was the first year of the Jets. Oh, there's a ground ball. And one out just like that. At this pace, he'll only throw 27 pitches or 21 pitches. That'd be interesting. But then when I started, my tribe at home started getting bigger. It became a little less desirable for my wife Wendy to have me travel with the team. So I made an arrangement with Jim Peterson that I would still help with the pitching, but it would just be here at the field. And that worked out pretty well, and I was helping just with the varsity at the time. And then before Gunner came on board, it became line drive to second base. That second baseman's getting some work. It became probably more important to develop some of these younger kids, these 15, 16-year-old kids that were coming in, and maybe some of these kids that were close to jumping to the big team, but they weren't necessarily getting true pitching instruction. So I started coming in and working with all three teams. And basically the coaches come to me and say, hey, this kid, we are having a tough time getting through to him, or we don't know what's wrong. Can you put an extra set of eyes on it and see what you see? Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong.
Nice.
So we got Erickson on the mound here. Is that who that is? And that's Mason catching? Or who's catching? Mason Germstead? Is this, and Grayson Doctor hitting, right? Okay. Beckman. Just like that. 3 outs.
1, 2, 3.
Few fans at home, if you hear a dog whining in the background, my dog Cooper is sitting next to me and he's upset about not me about not getting all the attention, so he might whine. So pay no attention.
Special guest.
Okay, we're back. We already have one out. Who's hitting here, Mario?
Number 2 for the Jets is Mark Greenstein.
Mike Greenstein, hockey player, I believe. And who we got pitching for the Bombers?
Yeah, Landon Hale.
Landon Hale. Okay, I've got a 1-1 count here. I don't know much about these kids, so you're gonna have to help me out. I know Hale, from what I've seen of him in the winter workouts, he's a strike thrower. Ooh. Little fumbleitis by the shortstop there. Jacob's a big kid, big strong kid. I've always wondered when he's gonna connect the dots, because if he ever does, he's gonna be one heck of a baseball player. He's a pretty good baseball player now, but I think there's from a pitching standpoint, he's got a big arm, he's got a pretty good curveball. I don't know what kind of season he's had, but I expect him to be on the big spot next year, to be honest. But lot of that is figured out in the fall and in the winter for these kids. I think he's going to be a senior. He's a Davies kid. Ball down in the dirt, 2-0. Got the Young playing third. Who's at short? Brigham's playing second. Stein's at first. Schultz is in right. Aaron Dilger, I'm assuming, is in center. And Carson Johnson is playing left field. Quinn Miller is the shortstop. Evens the count, 2-2. How did we get an out? They struck the first guy out? Okay. Pitch. Oh, pick play.
A little bit of an overcast going on there.
Some overcast. Oh, that's a well hit ball. He's definitely going to go first for a very nice cut. Cut that ball off by Aaron Dilger. It's a pretty good play. Bombers got themselves in a little bit of a pickle here.
Wow. Bottom of the first?
Yep. That sways. The sways up to bat. He can be a dangerous hitter. If he gets hot, he drives the ball pretty well. I watched him beginning of the North season. He was absolutely on fire. It's a good pitch. Brought out the paintbrush and painted black on that one.
Talk a little bit about this off-season workout. What's similar to these days? What should they be doing for off-season workouts?
Well, Post 2 has Wednesdays and Sundays, basically, starting around Christmas time. I think it starts just on Sundays, to be honest, and then it transfers. As the season gets closer, then they start to go Sundays and Wednesdays. But we have worked out a deal with the ball yard where there's cages and mounds available for us, 8 to 10, I think. We don't usually use them for that long. And it's a chance for kids to come in and work on their skills. If it's hitting, pitching, maybe like with Charlie, my son Charlie, he took that time to work on one specific thing. Last year he did not have a very good curveball. He took that time to develop his curveball. His curveball is much improved because of that. And from a program standpoint, if every kid went and improved on one thing, that's a big deal. That's another 6-7 wins a year. Maybe it's a big win. Maybe it's a big win in a big tournament. Hopefully state. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Is that Hudson Stein is another example. He's on this team. He's playing first base. Him and I have worked a little bit on some hitting stuff of his, and he really took to it. When I watched him at the Post 2 workouts, he was working on the things that we talked about. Took him a while to get going this year, but once he did, started to drive the ball, hit a home run. I think it was like 301 inch to go over the fence, but did make it. Yeah. Right, Tony? Yeah. It did make it. But then he's been ripping the ball pretty well. That's really what those workouts are about. Getting some reps in so that you can see what your issues are, and then take the time to correct them. Coaches are there. Coaches do work with the kids. It's pretty laid back though. That ball is pretty well hit. Got a little bit of a gazelle out there in Aaron Dilger though. That's a nice play. Saved at least another run.
Well hit ball and got some good wheels on Aaron there.
Yeah, he did a nice job on that one. Yeah, the winter workouts, and also tell the coaches a little bit. It's the beginning stages of the trial process is how I see it. There's kids that show up to those things. Like when I saw Jonah DeYoung this year, completely different player than he was last year. I bet he's put on 30 pounds. throwing the ball harder, better curve ball, hitting the ball harder. Those things are important for coaches to see. You know, Coach Luke and Nate, whoever it may be, they know their teams during high school baseball, but that is an opportunity for them to see other kids that they know they're going to be dealing with in the summertime. Nice play. If you can get rid of it, nice job. That error was costly. Cost them a run.
End of 1, top of 2. Okay, we're back at Jack Williams. Top of the second. Willa Brigham up the bat.
Ball looks up. It looked up. I guess it's hard to tell from here. Umpire Craig Ritchie has a very distinct strike call. Craig's got the armbands on, or the long sleeves coming down through the uniform.
Two balls, one strike.
Bombers being a younger team, I think they're going to want to try to get guys on either through walks or singles and move guys around and hope that they can get some timely hitting, get this thing tied up. They're, from what I've seen, and I haven't seen a lot of games, but I watched them earlier in the year, and then I watched them about a week and a half ago. Very different team. Early in the year, they made a lot of mistakes, lots of errors, did not hit the ball well, trying to hit the ball out of the park when, like you look at a kid like Brigham, if you're not trying to hit a single and get on base and be a distraction for the other team, then you're not doing your part for the team. And he's made that adjustment. Is that Jonah?
He's an high ball to the plate.
I coached Erickson in a camp once. I think he throws at least 4 pitches. I think he throws a fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. He's always around the strike zone. Can produce some velocity at times, but that's really not his bread and butter. Jeez, another 1-2-3 inning. such, he stands right on top of the plate. That ball almost hit him and it was a strike. Mason Hermstead.
Jason, with players at this age, they're doing multiple sports. What's your recommendation on starting to slim down on 3-4 sports at a time, and trying to find time? What age?
That is a long conversation. I believe in multiple sport athletes, but it is becoming, in this day and age, more and more difficult to do that. And the reason is that if a kid, let's say one of these kids chooses to just be all baseball, well, he is going to develop more quickly. He's going to be ahead of the game. He's going to have more time for recovery, more time for lifting. So he actually could, from a baseball standpoint, separate from the rest of his peers from a development standpoint. But playing other sports, being competitive all the time is also very good for you. I think it really depends on the kid. I would never, Charlie has been asked to not play hockey. My son Charlie has been asked to not play hockey so that he can concentrate more on baseball, and there's not a chance that we're doing it.
Right.
But on the other side of that coin, Tommy Simon quit playing football, quit playing basketball, quit playing hockey to develop as a baseball player, and now he's playing for Nebraska. So it can work, or it can be something that you may not want to do. It really depends on the kid.
Sure.
But all the colleges will still tell you they're looking for multi-sport athletes. But you got to be. I think those multi-sport athletes are super talented kids. If you're not overly talented in either one, it might be a good idea to focus. Maybe not quit a sport, but put more time into one and play the other one to stay competitive, to make sure different muscles are being used. I'm sure most coaches don't want to hear that. Especially football coaches don't want you playing without full commitment. But maybe you could take some time instead of going to all 5 workouts 1 week. You take some time and you take some swinging, or you get some throwing in, or maybe you just do it as extra stuff, which is probably more reasonable to both coaches. That if you get through your regular workouts for whatever sport you're doing, and then you take extra time on your own to go do stuff for whatever your secondary sport is. If that's fair, it's a little bit follow. But there's, obviously, that's just an opinion thing. I would say until you're 15, 16 years old, I would play as many sports and be competitive as many sports as you possibly can until one sport sort of becomes your favorite, or maybe you have more opportunities in that sport, and then you got a decision to make. How much do you like those other sports? Again, I'm going to use my son Charlie. He would never quit hockey. He would never do it. But I can understand the pressure to do that if you have a college recruiter telling you, if you come to this camp and this camp and this camp, which are during the hockey season, we can probably get you into Division I baseball. Well, that's a tough decision all of a sudden. And if that hasn't happened to us, but if that happened to us, then maybe I'm wrong about Charlie. Maybe he would make that decision, but I hope that doesn't happen. I enjoy watching hockey. But I mean, the other thing about that is that to be a college baseball player from this part of the country, you got to be pretty darn good. So I'd say for over 90% of the kids, every kid in Fargo, it's really a non-issue. You could just go play sports, enjoy your high school career. And if you happen to get lucky enough to get some opportunities afterwards, great. You know, a kid like Thomas Simon, at an early age, you could see he handled the ball, the ground ball, and his mechanics and the way the passion he had for baseball was beyond anybody else. Not only in Fargo, but even against some of the teams that we were playing at the national level, he was just above and beyond everybody else. So there's a kind of kid that he recognized early, this is my chance. So I think it was a good decision for him.
Number 8, Harper Schultz up to the plate. He's got a big bat when he can connect.
Big strong kid.
Big, strong kid. Wrestler.
He's a wrestler?
He is a wrestler.
The volume on this went way up. We're getting a lot of background noise too. You don't notice it? Okay. That is a major league fly ball. Caught. We're getting some major feedback. One out here. Is this Aaron Dillinger hitting? Erickson delivers 0-1 count. Make that an 0-2 count. Behind in the count. Let's see what he does with this. I would guess Erickson's gonna nibble a little bit. Maybe go off the plate. See if he can get him to chase. Yep, just like that.
Landon Hale to the plate. Pitcher for the Bombers.
I'm gonna have to take my dog home. He's creating a ruckus.
Just wants a pair of headphones and,
Yeah.
and a mic here.
Yeah, he doesn't. He wants to call the game.
count is 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
This is the leadoff guy? 9-hitter? Yeah, I think so. Roll the lineup over.
Good hit.
Breaks up the no-no. You might as well have headphones on. I can hear everything he's doing. Game's starting to slow down a little bit. They're getting into a little bit more of a rhythm. Hitters are starting to take some more pitches. Be interesting to see today how long the pitchers last in this heat. It's pretty muggy out there.
Yeah, we're sitting at about 90 degrees. Feels like it has gone up a little bit.
Sun's had some time to work. A quick throw from the catcher. Not in time. Yeah, there he is. He's probably coming up to complain about the way we're doing it. Two-oh swing over the third base dugout. Bombers need to start getting guys on base when there's not 2 outs so that they can do some things. Make this interesting.
Yeah, we got to generate some more hits here.
Well, Erickson's doing a good job so far of keeping guys off balance. He's thrown at least 3 pitches for strikes already this inning. Oh, that's going to drop in? No.
Oh,
Nice play.
nice catch.
That was Alex Suck.
Now batting for the Jets, Mike Greensteiner. Strike one. Outside. 1-1 is count. Bottom of the third. Jack Williams Stadium, Fargo, North Dakota. Thanks for joining us today. It's a well hit ball. Pop out. Number 17, Jacob Beckman. Ball one. Outside. Ball two. 2-0 count. One out, bottom of the third. Outside. Three and one is the count. Pop up infield. Out number two. Batting at number two, Mike Grings. Oh. My apologies. Ball one. Number 21, Isaac Slazer. Oh, tough play. Safe at first. Good hard run. Deep throw at one. Batting number 5, 24, Ozzie Egan. That'll be a single. Move the runner to 2. Bottom of the third. 2 outs. Batting in the 6th position, number 13, Alex Such. He gets hit with the ball. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Number 25, Mason Germstead. Strike one. Bases loaded. Oh. Bombers get out of that one. No run scored. Hudson Stein up to the plate. Out at one. Top of the fourth with the Jets leading the Bombers 1-0. Number 3, Grayson Doctor up to the plate. Gets hit by the pitch. Will go to first base. Matt Berg pinch running on first base. Strike one. Safe at first. Strike. 0-2 is the count. One out. Top of the fourth. Welcome to those of you that are joining us here on our broadcast post 2 Fargo Bombers versus the Fargo Jets. Oh, nice grab by the pitcher out at first. Will be changing sides. We have a new pitcher on the mound, Joey Jager, number 11, to the Fargo Bombers. Turning out to be a beautiful day here at Jack Williams Stadium. 88 degrees with a small wind out of the southwest.
Weatherman Mario
Welcome back.
giving us the weather. The weather. Are those cumulus clouds or what are those?
Cirrus.
Cirrus
I
clouds?
believe those are cirrus.
All right.
I cannot remember correctly, but may have to do a reach out to the meteorologist here. But
I would like to have a weatherman and an English teacher on staff in the press box at all times. Because there's many times that I don't know how to say things, and it would be nice to have an English speaker here to bounce that off of them. We got a new pitcher here.
We have a new pitcher. Yeah.
Cole Jagger.
Joey Jagger.
Joey Jagger.
Joey Jagger.
Coming in throwing strikes. 0-2.
Jason, what kind of things as a pitcher at this age? What kind of things should I be doing in the weight room?
Oh, core. Your basically your knees to your armpits. You want big legs, big butt, strong core. You want to have some shoulder strength and some elbow strength, but that should not be bulky stuff. Those are trigger muscles. You need to have flexibility and strength, but you do not need bulky strength at all. You want to be big in the middle part of your body, and then use the arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. All that is basically a whip. That is the core creates that whip, and the arm is just used to deliver the ball. Good pitchers, when they can use their core properly, that's why they last 15, 20 years in the major leagues. Is that the stress isn't on the arm, the stress is on the body, and they take care of it pretty well.
Strike two.
You got to give it to Levi's feet. He looks like he's going to hit a home run. Watch this. Watch the way he sets up. He's just sitting there like, yeah, I'm going to hit a bomb right now. The way he stands there, he's going to,
Stoic.
yeah. I'm not saying he will, but he certainly looks like he has the attitude like he's going to hit a ball out of the park every time he swings.
Confidence.
Yeah.
That's that confidence you need at the plate.
Swagger.
Yeah.
Do you have any statistics on these kids? We don't know batting averages or anything. They're playing Levi to hit the ball left field, it looks like. Got a center fielder basically playing in the gap. Left fielder fairly shallow. The guy that's the deepest is the right fielder.
Full count, Jason. 3-2. 1 out. Good ball.
Big gap in right center. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they have extensive video on Levi's feet and they know where he's going to hit the ball.
Somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, I could just see the coaches taking that time to do that.
It's a walk.
I like Jagger's arm angle. I like the way he delivers the ball.
So, Jason, my understanding, this is one of the youngest post-2 teams, Bombers, this year.
Oh, there's got to be, I bet you more than half of them are 15 years old. A couple years ago, this all started to change. I think the first guy to do it was Zach Lamont. He came and played Bombers at 15 and sort of opened the door to the next group, which would be my son Charlie and the Leinegers and those guys. They were like, oh, maybe that's something we should do. And then now, basically 15-year-old baseball has almost become obsolete in the city of Fargo. They're all joining either post 2 or 400 or whatever wherever they choose to go. But it makes for some opportunity, but so there's certain 15-year-olds that aren't ready for it because these kids are playing against 18, 19-year-old kids from other towns. I know that one year that I coached Bombers, we played a Grafton team, and they didn't have anybody below the age of 17. We were all 15 and 16-year-olds, and hadn't, maturity hadn't really kicked in yet, and these guys were men. And the scoreboard was definitely indicative of that. And we got our butts kicked. See the picture?
Out number 2. The runner on first. Number 2, Mike Bernstein.
Gilger is readjusting up there. He really likes to play in that left center gap, regardless of who's hitting. Lefty, righty. That's a tough pitch. Dropping down sidearm, running that ball over the outside of the part of the plate. Got quite a bit of tail on that.
As a coach, are you typically just trying to make those adjustments throughout the game, getting history on those batters, or how does that work?
Oh, from a defensive standpoint?
Yeah.
Well, it helps when you play the team before, because each at bat is charted by somebody. Where they hit the ball, what the count was, what the pitch was. So you can develop patterns that way, but until you play a guy or pitch against a kid 4 or 5 times, it's really difficult to develop any kind of pattern until that point. But what you can do is you can watch a kid swing. Sometimes the pitcher will do it. If you got a guy that's more of a jump baller, maybe he throws a lot of off-speed stuff, and then most teams are going to pull the ball a little bit more. And then on the other side of that coin, you have guys that throw hard, and when you have that kind of pitcher, sometimes they're going to hit the ball the other way. So and then a center fielder and shortstops and second baseman, they can see what pitch is coming. So sometimes they'll adjust their positioning based on what pitch is coming. 0-2, 1-2 fastball call. It's going to be defensive swing, and most likely not going to be pulling that ball. So they'll slide that way once they know what pitch is coming. That's pretty high level stuff. I'm not saying that that's happening here today. Most of the time, the coaches are telling them they have history, because all these guys played in Fargo, and all the coaches from Post 2 and 400, in West Fargo, they all coach high school. So there is some history. When a kid's brand new to the program, you get a 15-year-old kid that nobody's ever seen, and they're usually just playing straight up. But
We are back at Jack Williams Stadium.
I think they can hear you. Stan, is your microphone on? I missed what happened. What happened?
Pop up.
Oh,
Infield. 1 out.
Ethan Ibach. Up to the bat right now.
The Wiffle Ball CEO.
Yeah, that's right. He had that league for a couple years. Charlie played in the championship game of that league one year and lost.
I believe they are at 98, 99 followers now on Instagram. So continuing to build that
We are,
that
or
fan
the or the
base,
or the or the wiffle
the
ball league.
wiffle ball league.
Not an opportunity maybe here to push the ball over an outfielder's head.
What kind of things, Jason, as a coach, when you see batters, with multiple pop-ups, take Christian for as an example, there's multiple pop-ups. What types of things as a coach, how can you help that?
Oh well, there that could be a lot of things. Probably the number one cause of pop-ups is when the top hand during the swing, when the top hand doesn't actively control the bat, and the bottom hand is dragging the bat through the zone, the top hand is just along for the ride. The bat has a tendency, because the barrel is the heavy end of the bat, it has a tendency to dip, especially with a high velocity swing, because as you drag it, that bat will create a little bit of a whip, and as it whips, that barrel will dip right before contact. And so squeezing the top hand or controlling the bat with the top hand sometimes levels the bat out just enough to be hit the ball squarely rather than being slightly underneath it. Another common mistake is young hitters, or non-professional hitters I should say, have a tendency to take their eye off the ball the last 5-6 feet. Once their swing starts, in the mind they say the barrel path can't be changed, but it can. And sometimes if you watch the ball all the way to the barrel, you unconsciously make the proper change and you square it up, where if you start to look beyond or where the ball might go, the bat can do some strange things. And I'm not saying that that's happening with anybody, but it does happen. And sometimes it could be timing. Maybe you're late, maybe you're early. There's a lot of things. But the two most common things I see is a lack of focus, where they're not tracking the ball all the way to the barrel, and then the top hand is just along for the ride rather than controlling the bat path. A lot of young kids, especially if they have not had high-level coaching at the youth levels, they have a tendency to drag the bat through the zone with their bottom hand. Again, top hand just along for the ride. But what a good hitting coach will tell you is that the top hand is actually, that's the steering wheel. That's the engine, and the bottom hand is the steering wheel. You have to push or snap the barrel through, and that control with the top hand sometimes levels your swing out so you can hit the ball squarely. But without seeing him swing, it's I could probably watch a couple swings and say, okay, this is what I see. But it could be a lot of different things. He could be collapsing on the backside with his knees and dipping. Maybe it's even a pitch selection thing, where he's not swinging at his pitch. He's letting the ball get up in the zone and he can't catch it. Strength, could be strength. Lots of different things, like I said. 2 outs here. Aaron Dilger's 1-1 count. That's the thing about Aaron. If he can get one into the gap, that kid can fly. I'm not sure he's going to go very far with Ethan Maibach in front of him though. He just missed it. What are we going into the top of?
End of the top of the fifth, going to the bottom of the fifth.
Okay.
Jacob Beckman up to the plate for the Jets. Bottom of the fifth.
Large young man here. Big, strong kid. Oh, gotta get over and cover. Nice play.
Good hustle.
PFP. PFP, baby.
So Jason, with this the shade that we have with this overcast, does it play any tricks on the infielders or outfielders?
No, because of the way that Jack Williams is set up, the ball doesn't really disappear. Once it gets above the trees, if the ball was hit very high, left fielder might have some trouble, maybe even center fielder. I think everybody else is fine because the ball is going to come down in time. But if you lose it in the outfield, sometimes you lose it and you never find it again. So that does, but it has nothing to do with the shade. That could happen. That could have happened for the last 3 hours. When the sun's high like that. But it's not a real dark shade because it's coming through trees. There's enough light out there. Oh, that is going to be a base hit. Location.
Talking about the facility again, what kind of things could kids and parents are taking their kids out here? What could they expect coming here for the first time?
Oh, it's a really nice place to watch a baseball game. I mean, it was, if I'm being honest, it was a miserable day outside today, but the trees and the plate, the location of the facility, really, there's places to get out of the sun. It's open, especially down the right field line and left field line. If you need a little wind at your back, you can pick some spots to be. Again, got the nice grandstands. It's a very welcoming place. It's a fun place to watch baseball. Good speaker system now. The last couple of years that was a bit of a problem, but it seems to be fixed. Now we have streaming, and I know because I recently became a board member. There's a lot of talk. Hopefully we can make some things happen to making some major improvements, but none of that is for sure yet. But we're definitely working towards making some improvements to the facility.
Two balls, no strikes.
Got
Jason,
it.
talk a little bit about some of the board responsibilities. Can you speak to that?
Well, I'm probably the most irresponsible of the board members, so I'm probably not a good one to talk about it. It's, you gotta, I mean, and the reality of it is that if you're willing to put in, if you care about the program, and it's key that it's about the program. It's not just about your own kid. It's a legacy. You have to really, like for me, coming from a small town, I didn't really put an emphasis on baseball. We were more of a hockey town, and when I played college here and met Jim Peterson and a couple of the other guys, and of course I've become pretty good friends with the coaching staff now. It's really, I think it's taken for granted sometimes how nice the facility is and how cool it is to play here, and the board members basically have to care about that. If you're a board member, you are trying to pass it on better to the next group of players, teams, coaches, board members, whoever it may be. You're trying to pass something on to them that's better than when we got here. Gaming is one thing. I know that the silver tones of Mr. Stein down the road here, we're talking about Herds and Horns. That is one of the gaming sites that we have. We can have all the way up to 5. So if you're out there listening and you know a bar or a facility that wants e-gaming there at their facility, bring that to a board member. We'll get in contact with them, because the more we have, the better it is going to be for us. It can bring in a lot of money. Once the money is there, then there's things that we can do. But the board members, that's what we're talking about. There's people that are dedicated to the stadium. There are people that are dedicated to the field. There are people that are dedicated to the banquets. There are people that are dedicated to bringing in new money. There's gambling. There's a group of people that deal with gambling. And then you have your treasurer. You have our accountant. It's very individualized. I'm more of a baseball guy. They ask me questions about the baseball field and what we should be doing for some of the kids, what would make it better for the kids. Bullpens. Chris Meyer and a guy named Ryan Sutch have been working on making some improvements to the facility. All the new signs out on the, you can see them probably on camera. Those are all brand new signs this year. Scoreboard renovations. That's the stuff that we're trying to work on. While I was discussing the board, they scored a run. 2-0 now, Jets.
You know, as a first-time parent coming on to a post-2 family here, it's not a lot of time as far as, you know, we're not tons of travel as much as we thought it would be. Coming here, it doesn't seem like it's a dip or it's a requirement. It just feels fun.
I
The
think that
atmosphere is fun.
it's a
the
big
parents-
misconception from our counterparts on the south side of the city, is that one of the things that they talk about, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they talk about the fact that you don't have to do dibs, and they use that as a selling point. And it's pretty hard not to say, oh yeah, I don't have to do anything. That's great. But if you talk to the people around here, very few people look at it as a negative. I enjoy coming to the field. I enjoy helping out. I enjoy volunteering. Like today, I didn't have to do this with you, but I was going to watch the game anyways. Now we can give something to people at home. You know, it's not great. I'm going to apologize for that. I know Mario's doing a hell of a job, but I apologize for my inability to vocalize my thoughts. But we're doing these things not because we're trying to get our quota in. We're doing these things because we're here. We like being around.
And folks, don't take that too hard. Jason's carrying me around like a little baby bird right now, so he's doing a great job.
You know, the kids, the other day, Post 2 had a rain out. It poured before the game. This was at 4:30. My son Charlie didn't come home until almost midnight. And I said, where have you been? He said, I've been at the field. The whole time he never left. They worked the field. They drained water. They fixed the bullpens. And then they had a team ping pong tournament. They chose teams. They had a bracket. And they sat up there as a team, every single one of those varsity players, until somebody won the tournament. On a Friday night. And, what could these kids be doing on Friday night? They could be doing a lot of bad stuff, and this is where they were. So to give back to that is more than enjoyable, and we have a real blessing here. So I don't think anybody that does dibs, and I've never talked to a single person that has done a dib that has said, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Yeah, there's conflicts. I have 5 kids. There's times I can't be here, but if I'm sitting at home, I'd rather be here, doing this than. Oh, speak of the
Is
devil.
number 5?
Here's one of the Rugrats.
Number 5 here on the
You want
lineup.
to get on the radio, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, then get away from me.
Ben.
It's nice. Yeah.
Can you tell us what inning it is and what the score is?
It's the 6-2 nothing Jets.
2-0 Jets.
Yeah.
How many hits do the Jets have?
4,
How many hits do the Bombers have?
2.
Okay. I guess that's it. Nobody out. We got who do we got coming up?
Hmm?
Who do we got coming up? Who is this? Landon Hale, number 2.
Hale. Number
Is he right-handed or left-handed?
2. Righty.
Is he a big kid or a small kid?
Small.
Well, he's not big. Let's say that. That's more politically correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Home runs. 16.
You have 16 home runs.
Yeah.
Is this on some sort of online game or is this in real life?
Real life.
We're gonna have to do some fact checking on that, guys.
Yeah. Tennessee called me yesterday.
Yeah. Nice. Well, he has the ability to fabricate like his old man.
I can lift 1,000-pound weights. I do like 2,000 every day. Uh, cheese.
Just cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else to say to the folks out there in TV land?
No.
All right. You could give those back to Mario now. Wow. He's a Kelbrenner.
So, is it 1,000 or 2,000 pounds?
I think
he's
there's a
lifting?
1,000-pound weights, but 2,000 reps.
Okay.
Which
that's
that's an average day for him, I think.
And what
And
kinda,
all that on the one single fuel of cheese. That is a Bach. I wonder if it was like straight cheddar, Colby.
That was my question. What kind of cheese are you feeding him?
I would have to say it'd be Colby. And
And
nobody can eat that much cheese.
That's
unless
a lot of
it's
cheese.
got a little Colby. Or Colby Jack. I bet you it's Colby Jack. I see some things happening here for the Bombers. Uh-oh, that might just no, that's not gonna drop.
Got
He
some
almost-
speed. Whoa. Close on two. One out.
Big spot for the Steiner here.
It's a great opportunity for Hudson here.
He's gonna go back and watch this and be upset that I'm not giving him more props. But I think this is a big spot for him. This is why he's in the middle of the lineup where he is. Got these two bigger fellas on the team right now. These guys are here to drive in runs. So it's working out perfectly for the Bombers. Let's just see if 21 can do the job. No pressure though.
Big strike.
You can tell that Hudson, regardless of what happens as an at-bat, he's taking his at-bats more seriously this year than when I saw him last play. In between pitches, he has a little routine that's a sign of a dedicated hitter. Sort of fooled him with that curveball there. I think he can expect that one again. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Think he got into it. You better score, buddy. Look at that.
Oh, great
I
opportunity.
basically predicted it. Nostradamus over here.
Clutch.
Let's see if those two can switch and make this a real interesting game going in the last couple innings. Or this is the top of the sixth, isn't it? We're already in the last two innings. Well, with Stein's blazing speed, I expect him to steal third. Maybe even home. That was a very well struck ball. Am I still on?
New pitcher for the Jets, number 7, Cole Hansen. Ball 1. Folks, we're at top of the 6th. Bombers have a runner on 2, Hudson Stein. Well hit. It's going to drop. Oh,
Hudson Stein scores. There's that blazing speed again.
that was really turning it on.
Yeah.
And he's really running well this year.
It was more just of a black flash, like when you wake up from a dream. It's become a very interesting game all of a sudden.
It has.
Got some activity in the Bomber bullpen. Who is that? Number 13?
Ooh. Close play at 1.
Who's number 13?
Number 15. Number 15. Is that Matt? Berg? Matt Berg. Warming up in the bullpen?
No, he's on first base.
Oh, first.
Number 13 is warming up in the bullpen.
13.
We got a Matt Berg appearance. Oh, that is a tough play.
Oof. Pop up for the second out.
Now to bat, number 10, Jonah Moneyball DeYoung.
I guess Jonah's nickname is Moneyball.
Moneyball.
I'm interested to hear that story. Oh,
Runner advances to second.
good read by number 15 there. He was running as the ball was coming out of his hand. He knew something we didn't. Game, go ahead, run on second for Moneyball. Let's see, got pretty good speed on second base. Let's see if he can find a hole for this 1-1 pitch.
Oh.
That's a mistake. That's a herder.
Bomber score.
We also have a sniper sighting as Jonah DeYoung was rounding first. Sniper fire took out his left knee, fell down, had to crawl back to the base. But he still gets second. Must have gone out of bounds.
Ground roll.
Ground roll.
CEO of Wiffle Ball, Ivan.
They're gonna pinch run for Jonah. Oh, go to the right base there, 24.
Got Reston Schultz running on second.
Now running second base, number 24, Reston Schultz.
Got to watch out for his speed. They're gonna let him go. Lightning. Out at 1. Number 7, Cole Hansen up to the plate for the Jets.
Cole Hansen could use Barber. He's got quite the fro going on there, sticking out of the back of the helmet.
Still got some salad out there, huh?
Yeah. That's a nice pitch. Well located fastball there. Hello? Did I know Mom was here? Mom is not here.
3-2 Bombers, bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, you can ring him up here.
1 out.
Okay. Yeah, you can bring him back up here.
Now up for the Jets. Number 3, Levi Sweet.
Levi Sweet up to bat.
Doggy dog home.
No runners on base. Towering foul ball.
Nice swing by Levi. Good bat path there. Just
So-
missed.
Just another one of those, Jason, where he just seems really comfortable in the batter's box.
Yeah, he sets his hands low and then brings them up as he gets ready to hit. Pretty quick to the ball. Some things could be changed. He could probably develop a little bit more power in that swing by where he holds his hands and how he loads into his back leg, but that's not something you're going to change during the season. Hopefully Nate Walsh and the post 2 coaches make that adjustment, because I think if he could develop a little bit of power, he turns into somebody that helps the program in the future. The big squad, I mean. That's the hope for everybody, right? You know, there's I shouldn't say for everybody, but for a lot of these kids, they're trying to improve their skill set. They're trying to find a way to crack that lineup and play at the highest level they can. And then for another group of kids, it's just about having fun, because it's fun being around the baseball field all summer long.
That one just squeaks past the catcher. Advances to 2. Counts 2 balls, no strikes. On your Post 2 radio network.
Runner on second base, 1 out. Strike 1, 2-1 count to Anthony Erickson. I think this is Anthony. Ooh. Is this is Jagger still pitching? Shanley kid?
Joey Jagger. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Oh, that ball's hit well.
Whoa.
Onto the dike.
We did have a woodchuck sighting a few weeks ago. Not sure if you happen to hear about that,
Oh,
Jason.
I was doing the game. It was quite hilarious. The umpire just pointed at it and jumped up. That thing went dugout to dugout. Probably the fastest runner of the whole game.
I
Went
do
right through, like in between the hitter and the catcher. Just ran right between them.
I do understand. There was reports that he might have pulled his hamstring.
Yeah, he did. It was a he didn't stretch before he just jumped into a sprint. I mean, he should know better than that. He's been around the ballpark long enough. That ball's hit well, right at a guy though.
Good strong hit.
Now up to bat, number 2, Michael Brenstein.
Is this microphone on? Why are we picking up all that background noise? Do you hear that? No. Okay.
Bunt.
Ooh, that's a good
Lays it
bunt.
down. Got him.
Nice play.
Well played.
No runs in the bottom of the sixth with a runner left on base. We head to the top of seven. It's 3-2 Bombers.
That was a Did you hear Ben? How did that sound?
Harper Schultz up to bat. 1 ball, no strikes.
Did it get better?
Top of the 7th.
Run, Harper, run.
Okay.
Safe on first. First baseman bobbled the ball just a little bit.
I don't know what the scorecard is on that. What is that, a hit or a near?
I don't know.
We're in the top of the 7th right now. But I'm not doing the next game. I'm just doing this one.
No, to bat number 13, Aaron
I'll-
Jones.
I'll- All right. Yeah. Got a little
Small ball going on here.
So, bunted ball down the first baseline. And it's doing this, it's going back and forth across the line. A tack-on run about to happen. When you're ahead like this, anytime that you can put a number on the board, it's a big deal. How did he get to second? I wasn't paying attention. Did he get bunted over? He got
I
bunted
think
over.
he got bunted over, sacrifice bunt, advance the runner to 2.
Ooh, that looked like a good pitch. I think Mr. Umpire might have missed one there. That's okay. Yeah, it seems like a little lack of aggression there. That's a 2-0 pitch with a runner on second, and he let that ball go. Seems to me like a pitch you want to drive.
Just foul. Right down the first baseline. Count is 2-2.
Moves the runner over. 90 feet away. Pitcher and catcher got to be careful at this point. Don't want to pass ball or wild pitch to score that fourth run for them. They want to keep it within striking distance going into the bottom. Last at bat. I think it's probably pretty important for the Jets to end this inning here. You don't want to get into the Bomber brothers down there on deck and in the hole.
Oh,
But no, that run is going to
it's a
score.
nice hit.
Way to be aggressive.
Base hit scores 1. Now up to bat. First baseman, number 21.
Yeah, if you watch Hudson's routine here, his back elbow is the key to his swing. He really focuses on getting that thing through his belly button and let the bat flatten out behind him. That's a
Look at that.
single.
Dropping.
Into the zone early. As Coach Walsh would say, he'd say early too, long through. Makes for good hitters.
Number 3, Grayson Doctor up to bat. Runners on second and first. 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Bombers looking to add a few more on.
I wonder if it's weird for Post 2 fans that are sitting on the visitor side today.
It is.
You know, because I've never sat over there. I've never gone to a game where I sat over there.
Hopefully the seats had time to cool down a little bit. Welcome back to Jack Williams.
Oh,
Oh, poked one through there.
one
Base hit.
pitch, one swing, one guy on first. If you're a Jet fan, and I bet you about half of you are, that's a good way to start this inning.
Bombers looking to hold on. What
Got
do they
the-
need to do, Jason? Try
Oh.
to hold on here.
There's not much. I mean, you throw strikes, and if they hit it, they hit it. That's just the way the game is played. What the Bombers gotta stay away from is walking kids and making errors. If they don't walk anybody and they don't make any errors, and the Jets happen to get their hits, you tip your hat and you can walk away. What really drives a team, coaches, players nuts is when you hand it to them on a platter. So just stay within themselves, get outs where they can get them, and don't walk people. The pitcher seems to be throwing pretty good strikes here, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. Still got the double play in order, and that run, in all honesty, that run doesn't mean anything as long as you just get outs.
Count is 1-1, bottom of the 7th. Bombers looking to hold on to the lead here. Just foul. Count is 1-2. No outs.
I'd like to know what kind of shampoo and conditioner Hudson Stein uses. His hair is just got so much life to it today. Bouncing around. Got some flicks of sun in it. 1-2 count.
Oh. Batter gets hit.
You want to stay away from that kind of stuff. They're going to bunt. I would say that they would bunt here in the hopes that one of these next two guys can come up with a hit. Although you don't have a lot of speed on the bases, you might want to bunt simply to stay out of the double play.
Runners on first and second, no outs.
Who's hitting?
20, 24. Ozzie Egan for the Jets.
It's a good way to start this at bat. If you can get it out here without them moving runners into second and third position, even if they only move one of them, that's a good pitch again. Strikeout would be huge for the Bombers. Obviously, the Jets are trying to avoid that. They want to get a bunt down. They may keep it on. Was that a foul tip? Must have been.
Oh, and 2 is the count. No outs. Runners on first and second.
Big pitch here for the Bombers. It's a big out for them. Nice little nibble.
Pitcher's ahead of the count. 1 and 2. Runners on first and second. No outs.
Oh, he's got him if he makes a good throw. Nope.
Runners advance.
That's the kind of stuff you want to stay away from. Now they got the tying run on second. Nobody out. It's Ozzie. That's his name, Ozzie Egan.
Ozzie Egan.
If Ozzie can do his job here and maybe get a ground ball to the right side, score a run, put the tying run on third, that's a good at-bat. Him striking out is obviously what you want to avoid since you have, it's a full count now. If it was me, I'd throw something off speed here in the hopes of striking him out because you have a base open. And that doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, that does not hurt them because that run means nothing. And now you've created a force at home plate. So a ground ball to the third baseman, he can go to home. Ground ball to the pitcher, he can go to home. Ball doesn't have to go away from the lead runner to get an out. Although that is the winning run. So any gap shot that walk could be important. I wasn't thinking about that. Who do the Bombers go to in this situation to shut it down? Is this Aaron Dilger?
Aaron Dilger. Aaron Dilger pitching for the Bombers. It's a 13 versus 13.
Is that lucky or unlucky?
Alex Such pops one up, infield. Easy out. One out.
We have some biased fans in the booth with us. If you're a Jets fan, pay no attention to them. We're trying to be non-biased. We're just calling the game as we see it.
Up the bat for the Jets, it's 25, Mason Turnstad.
Number 25.
Now
Mason
they have the
Turnstad.
possibility of getting out of this with one pitch. Ground ball, double play.
Good timing. Oh, that was great timing.
Sweeping slider type pitch. Got Germstead out in front.
0-2 is the count. One out. This is going to be huge for Aaron if he can get the Bombers out of this jam.
That's a big
Got
pitch.
'em. That's a big time right there. 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Jets.
Now up the bat, number 7, Cole Hansen.
Number 7, Cole Hansen, steps up to the plate. 2 outs.
It's a good start. If you're a Bomber fan. Not a good start if you're a Jet fan. Oh, he wanted to call the strike. The right arm raised. Ooh, So close.
1-1 is the count. 2 outs. Bases loaded.
That's what you got to be careful of. You don't want that pass ball to score the third run. Now you take the force across the field. You have to go across the field to first base to get the last out. All sorts of weird stuff can happen. Hits a rock,
2 balls, 1 strike.
evens it up. 2-2. Twos across the board.
Silence in the stadium right now, Jason.
You can cut it with a knife. The intensity and the drama out there. It's like pea soup. Oh,
Got him. Oh. Force that home. Smart.
Force play at home. Helps the Bombers win this one.
Bombers
Final score
over the Jets.
2-2. Those two Bombers
4-2.
Jets.